Jagarative, Jam Masters. Letting go is the essence of spiritual growth. But I've come to see, and not everybody really understands what that means. I'll say it in one sentence and then we'll get into it. You're not letting go of life. You're letting go of your reaction to life. That's a whole nother ball game. One is sitting there saying, I'm not supposed to have money. I'm not supposed to be in relationships. I'm not supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to do that. Supposed to renunciate. I'm letting go of the world. You know I don't buy into that. That leads to suppression, repression, and often comes up and comes out in ways that are not so good for the rest of the world. It's not letting go of the world. But I thought Christ said, sooner a camel should pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man should go to heaven. Again, because we don't understand what the great masters are saying. We only understand what we understand, and then we bring the teachings down to our level. If you take that literally, obviously camels can't pass through the eye of a needle, and therefore it's saying that if you have money, you can't go to God. And therefore this whole thing about never touching money and being renunciate and so on comes about. It is not about letting go of the world. It is about letting go of your reaction to the world. All the growth is inside. Christ said the kingdom is within you. That's the truth. That's what it is. So what does that mean? You're not letting go of the world, you're letting go of your reaction to the world. It means the world is going to unfold. That's what it does. It has been doing it on the big picture for at least 13.8 billion years. We don't know what happened before the Big Bang, and I don't want to think about it. But basically, if we trust our scientists, and we should, in exploring what they've explored, they time it back to 13.8 billion years when this stage of the universe, whatever, came into being, and then it evolved, and you guys ended up here. And the world has unfolded every moment during that time. How did it unfold? Enough to go from nothing to you. Wow. Like, we all understand the word DNA. It's a molecule, double helix, whatever it is, a very complex molecule. Well, that molecule, we are told that every one of your cells, of which you have 25 trillion within your body, I don't know who counted them, but that's what they're saying. You have 25 trillion within your body, that every single one of those cells has the strands of DNA in it. And that every single strand of DNA has the intelligence and capability of building every cell within your body. Now that's some serious programming. I program computers, but we didn't come close to that. And it's microscopic. Where did that come from? And don't you dare think that we made it, because we didn't make it. If you're all proud that you did the genome study and figured it all out, wonderful. What made it that you took all those years in computers to figure the thing out, and you haven't figured it all out? I read an article years ago that they said there was a bunch of called junk DNA inside the nucleus. Well, they're not finding out it's not junk DNA, that it is responsible for what genes get turned on, and that can change what genes turn on. So that literally the body can heal itself, that your experiences in life affect that stuff, and that they see genes get turned on and off. It's quite a complex thing. What made it? You didn't, nor did Einstein. Nobody made it. It went from nothing before the Big Bang, and then all this stuff happened for 13.8 billion years. And during that time, DNA showed up. I told you, I don't care if you say God did it, that's fine. Or if you say science studied how the evolution of matter and of form evolved into it, I'm fine. All I care is you didn't do it. So these moments in life have unfolded. Like, what did it? The moment before it ended up creating it. Just like your psyche is the sum of your learned experiences. If you didn't have an experience in your youth, your mind wouldn't think the way it does. It's cause and effect. It passes through time and space for a very long time, very complex, all over the place, and it made this. I mean, I'm a lover of God, so that's where I am. But I don't care if you're the biggest atheist that ever lived. You didn't make it. So it's okay with me that you understand life, how we call God equals life. Life equals God. The moments unfolded, and this is what happened. So that basically, that's where you're sitting. There are moments unfolding. The moments in front of you are no different than the moments anywhere else. They're the result of cause and effect. I mean, I understand they look different, they talk different, they sound different. They are the result of all the forces that made them be the way they are. How's that? Science doesn't argue with that. They are the result of the forces. Science studies what were those forces. Fine. The point is, that's what did it. The forces did it. So basically, you come down and understand there are moments unfolding in front of you. You did not make those moments. I'm not saying you had no influence on them. If I'm holding a glass, I didn't make the glass, I didn't make the water, I didn't make the floor, I didn't make gravity, I let it go, and it broke. I broke it. It's much more complicated than that. All right? Your say in the matter of what's in front of you, as best as I have figured out so far, I'm not sure I have all the right zeros, it's 0.00000000001. You didn't make your car, you didn't make the engine, you didn't make the muffler, you don't even know where the fuel pump is. You didn't make any of it. Just look at the props that are around you. You didn't make them. You didn't make your face, you didn't make your eyes. You mothers who think you made your child. You did not make your child. All of a sudden, there's this one cell that's inside of you, and it makes itself into a baby. You did it? Seriously. I'll just stand here. I'll give you as much time as you want. Make me an eyeball. Make me the pineal gland. You're not doing these things. The universe is doing them. God is doing them. Life is doing them and has done them from the beginning of time. You're just the recipient. You're the experiencer of the moment that's unfolding in front of you. So that moment is unfolding in front of you. That's a very awesome, holy thing. Not only because there is such a moment, there are many less things on Mars. Go there and see what's happening. And not to mention Mars, go into outer space. Not a planet, not a star. Just float around in outer space. Tell me what's happening. Nothing. That's what could be happening. That really is what's happening all over the place. But you happen to be, your consciousness is here in a moment that to me, I know no one understands, is no different than any other moment in the universe. It's just the moment that your conscious happens to be seeing. It was there before your conscious looked at it. Look to the left. Ah, right. Ah, different ones. They were there too. Wake up. You're not doing this. You're not the doer. You're the experiencer. The experiencer of what? The moment that happens to be unfolding in front of me. All right. Are you okay with that? 1, 2, 3. No. No, I'm not okay with that. Isn't that embarrassing? You're supposed to be the highest, most intelligent species on the planet, and here the absolute truth is laid before you. You can't deny it, but you're not okay with it. That's the problem. Now you understand. You're not letting go of life. Make Saturn not have rings. Decide you don't like the rings on Saturn. Who are you? They have nothing to do with you. They exist independent of you. You just happen to be experiencing them. Well, I don't like what she's wearing. That's like saying, I don't like that Saturn has rings. It's happening. And your consciousness is experiencing it. That's awesome. You should be saying thank you to what? The fact that you're having experiences. This is what's going on everywhere. Life. Life is going on. What's the problem? Where's the beef? The problem is that you have decided within yourself, you built, now listen to these words, concepts. They're not out here. Life didn't make concepts. You did. You made concepts about life. Concepts are not real. Look at her. Her hair looks like my sister. She's probably like my sister. You're making stuff up. About what? About reality. Well, what's wrong with reality? A lot. I'll give you a list. No, there's nothing wrong with reality. Reality is the result of everything that ever happened from the beginning of time unfolding right now. And that's what it always was, and that's what it will always be. So we have this world outside of us that is a result of everything that ever happened. And a little tiny piece is passing in front of us. But everything's everywhere, and I don't know what to say. It's all the same. It's all the same. It's just what is. There it is. But your consciousness only sees what's in front of it. That's all it's ever seen, is what's in front of it. And so you develop, we'll go very quickly here, you developed in your mind, we can talk about that later if you want, you were given a mind. It's a pretty neat thing to have a mind. You get to think. And what you did with the thinking, I'm going to cut to the chase really quickly, is decide what you like and what you don't like. What you want to happen and what you don't want to happen. What you accept and what you don't accept. That's what you did with your mind. About what? Everything. It better not rain tomorrow. You say it's so innocent. And why better it not rain? I'm going camping. I mean, what about the farmer? And what about everybody else? And what about reality? And what about meteorology and the weather system? I always tell you guys, want to know about the weather? Why did it rain on my birthday? You want to find out why that happened? Go study meteorology, and guess what? You can have lots of books to read, and you bring me the one that says you had something to do with it. And yet you say that. And you mean it. It's wrong. It could have rained yesterday. It didn't have to rain. It hasn't rained for 2 weeks. You do think like that. Okay? So the world is the result of all that ever was. And your mind is the result of what you decided it's going to be. You're deciding it. What if you sat there and said, oh, this is so much fun, it rained, we had so much fun, we got sopping wet. What if you did that? You could have. You do anything you want. Inside. Not outside. Okay. So now we've laid the groundwork for what letting go means. Letting go does not mean letting go of reality. It does not mean letting go of life. It means that you inside have made up concepts, views, opinions, likes, dislikes, preferences, beliefs. Those are all mental things. Not one word I just said exists out here. In fact, it doesn't exist in God's universe. It exists in yours. You were given free will, weren't you? Look what you did with it. You made up an alternate reality that doesn't match reality and getting really upset when it doesn't match. And getting really excited when it does. Well, that's weird. I'm sorry. Will you look at the planet Earth and then look at space? When we're in space, we go out there all the time now. And we get probes, even outside the solar system. And what have we seen? Nothing. Where are the orchids? They're not there. Where are the animals? Not there. Where are any of the flowers? They're not there. Well, I don't understand. How did this place end up a Garden of Eden? How did it end up? You go to botanical gardens. Where do you think all those plants came from? Earth. They were wild. Orchids were wild on the earth. Roses were wild. How many animals are there? How many fish are there? Not how many. Types of animals, types of fish. It is the Garden of Eden. It's God's idea of Disney World. It's just sitting here in the middle of nowheres with flowers and plants. You know what? You wake up in the morning and there's this planet. And you're on a planet where it sounds like this. Whoa! That ain't going on Mars. It sings to you. It's unbelievable. Then that's what birth is. But you ruined it. How? You decided how you wanted it to be. Did you study science and figure out all the forces that come together to make it that way? No. I just decided how I wanted it to be. That's really awkward. Okay? You get to do that. You just get to play make-believe and make up a way it's supposed to be. She's not supposed to be with him. She's supposed to like me. And she's not turning out the way I thought she would. I want a new one. It's like, oh my God. You just made up that. I don't want to keep getting biblical on you, all right? That is the fall from the garden. That tree was called the tree of self-knowledge. The tree of self-knowledge. In other words, I now am about me. I now know what I want, what I don't want, what I like, what I don't like, and how it should be. And how serious are you about that? When it isn't the way you made up. Now you listen to me. This is tough, I know. When what's the it? Reality. When it isn't the way I made up, it's wrong. You ever said it? That shouldn't have happened. That's wrong. That's just wrong. Why is it wrong? It hurt me. He shouldn't have said that. You just made up this stuff in your head. You were given free will, and that's what you did with it. You said, me, I, me, mine, like the Beatles song, I, me, mine. And it's basically, that's what you say all the time. What do I want? What am I going to do? He shouldn't have done that. I don't like what he did to me. This is my car. It's my life. Did you give it to yourself? It's hard to even talk about, right? I don't like my body. Oh my God. Don't tell that to the 25 trillion cells that are working day and night to keep it alive, that are making the blood flow, making blood all together. You don't like it? Why? My nose is too big. So you just make up this stuff and then you suffer. You suffer. I don't like my body. I don't like what I look like. I don't like getting old. I like that one the most. I really like that. I don't want to get gray hair. I don't want to get varicose veins. I don't want to get lines in my face. I don't want to have my face drop so it has to be lifted. I need a crane or something. I don't know. Like, I don't want it. I don't want it. You lose. Because getting old is part of life. And the body goes through changes. I don't want it to. Okay, well, your body used to be, what, about 2 feet? And you sit there and cried all the time? Well, you want to go back there? No, I like that. Did you make your body grow? Did you stretch it? It did it by itself, didn't it? Who are you that dares to be doing this thing of making up how you want things to be and then suffering? If they aren't the way you want them to be, how do you feel? All you do is complain. You start a blog. Let other people complain with you. Okay, it's a community thing. It takes a village. So you just basically come down to understand, what have you done? What have you done with your free will? I've made up an alternate universe. It doesn't exist. How do you know it doesn't exist? Because I have to fight with it all the time to try and make it be the way I want. And I have to get upset when it's not that way. And I have to not like people. And I have to like people. Which people do not like? The ones that aren't being the way I want them to be. Which people do you like? The ones that are the way I want them to be. Why should people be the way you want them to be? They aren't you. If Skinner's right, and it's not true that you are the sum of your learned experiences, but your mind is the sum of your learned experiences. Your mind, your emotions, that whole psyche thing is the sum of your learned experiences. If you had different experiences, it would think differently. You didn't make it up. It was programmed by the experience that you had. The other person who you're saying they're not being the way I want them to be did not have your experiences. They had completely, totally different experiences, and they continue to have different experiences. The point is, you're different, and you're going to be different. I don't care what you do. It is meant to be different, and they are different, and that's just the way it works. And you dated somebody for a year or two. If you're lucky, you probably got married 6 months. But anyways, you dated somebody for a year or two, and you think you know them. You do not know them. I'm being tough tonight, aren't I? All right? How could you possibly know them? They've been alive for 25, 30 years, having experiences every moment of their life, just like you have. They're completely different than anything you could even imagine. Your mind only had these experiences. A computer only is as smart as the data you give it. Otherwise, it's a nice paperweight. It's nothing. We put data in it. And then it rearranges the data. It does it really fast. So what? It's just rearranging the data. Okay? And that's what's inside of you, and that's what's inside of him and inside of her. That all this data was put in every single second, programming the mind, and you think you know something. You do know something. You know the tiny little bit of what you experienced. And it's really very small. I ask you this every time now. If you think you know something. While you're having those experiences, how many are you missing? Just take one experience. Here, we're having an experience. How many are you missing? How many experiences are going on everywhere that you're not experiencing while you're experiencing this? They're not a number big enough, is it? The data you have in there is nothing. We call it statistically insignificant, isn't it? But you don't think like that, do you? You're just completely addicted to your own data. You're addicted to this is who I am. This is what's going on. And then you look at somebody else and you say they're wrong. Why? Because they don't see it the way you see it. Of course they don't see it the way you see it. How could they possibly? Okay, so you wake up and you realize what it means. We'll go back to what I was talking about. Letting go does not mean letting go of life. It means letting go of what you're doing in there about life. Your reaction to life. I like it. I don't like it. It's good. It's bad. It's fair. It's not fair. What you think is fair, he thinks is the most unjust thing that ever was. Who's right? There is no right. Not like that. There is right, but it's transcendent to that. There's absolute right, which means this is reality. I can handle reality. That's what letting go means. This is reality. It is a result of all the forces that ever were unfolding in front of me, only a moment, unfolding in front of me. If your moment is wrong, what are you saying about everything? Your moment fits into all the other moments. It fits inside every moment that caused it. It fits inside every moment that's next to it, but it doesn't fit inside of you. Why? Because you made up one. And you didn't even consult reality to see whether the one you're going to make up has any meaning or anything. You just made it up. I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah, I already dated a blonde when I was in high school. She dumped me. I don't want to date a blonde ever again. Okay, that's really good. That's the sum of your learned experiences. All right, so now we're at this point where we can start to grow spiritually. Life unfolds. It's in front of you. You're going to have reactions inside of you because it won't match what your concepts and views and opinions and preferences and hopes and dreams and everything, all that stuff you made up inside your head, is not going to match. So you have two choices. I'm going to make it match. We have ways. And you do it all the time. You manipulate people, places, things with your clothes, with your words, with how you walk, because you drive. Every single thing. You're trying to project out into the world how I want you to be. And when it's not that way, you suffer. And when it is that way, you get excited. And therefore you say, see, it's true. If I get my way, it's good, it's right, because I feel really good. So that must be what's right. And when it's not, I feel really bad. And there you go. That's it. There's your thing. That's what's causing all this trouble, everything. That's what causes every war that we ever had, every terrible thing anybody ever did. People are fine. You're beautiful. You're fine inside, except that you made up how you want it to be. And now you will go to great ends. You see the ends that people will go to in order to get it their way. Okay? And that's what everybody's doing. They're deciding what they want and what they don't want, and then fighting, struggling, fighting. So how do I be okay? You be okay by stop making up how everybody's supposed to be, making up what's supposed to unfold in front of you, making up every single thing, making up how much traffic there should be when you drive down the road, making up how fast the driver in front of you should go, making up what the weather should be like today. How hot should it be? Oh my God, it's so hot. This is ridiculous. Okay. You're telling reality, you don't know what you're doing. You're just completely absurd. You don't match what I want. How about reality says to you, I win? Reality always wins because it's what actually happened. So you come down and say, is there a higher way to live your life? Yes. It's called the spiritual path, the spiritual way. Spirituality is as follows. I'm in here, and there's a universe out there. For some reason, I can't handle it. I can't handle reality. I can't handle the driver in front of me. I can't handle it's raining today. I can't handle what somebody said. I can't handle that she's holding hands with him. And I can't handle it. I can't handle it. You come to grips with the fact that I'm not okay inside. I made a mess inside. Now we'll get down to how it got to be a mess in there. We said life unfolds. It does. But my parents got divorced. That's part of life unfolding. It shouldn't have happened. Well, it did. What you mean when you say it shouldn't have happened is you mean I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. There we go. So already you were making a problem. What would happen if you could handle your childhood? Psychology's out of business. You don't need therapists. My parents got divorced. What was that like? I ended up with 2 fathers. It was a lot of fun. I get to go to 2 households. I get 2 Christmases. You had every right in the world to do that. You weren't ready. You weren't evolved enough. But there's nothing saying you couldn't have done that, is it? You're free in there. You do anything you want in there. If you didn't understand it then, at least understand it now. You're free in there to think any way you want. But you didn't. So what happened is you couldn't handle it. Now what do you do? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about the fact that you can't handle it? I'm going to suppress it. I'm going to make believe it didn't happen. I'm going to practice denial. I'm going to hate it. I'm going to push it away because I can't handle it. There, now we need psychologists because you suppressed all this stuff. And that's how it got messy inside. I usually give you a big lecture on it. I'm going to do it very briefly here. That's how it got to be a mess in there. Imagine if you stored every single thing that bothered you throughout your life inside of you. What would it be like inside? Bothered. How can it not be? That's what you stored in there. Everything that ever bothered you. That's what makes it be bothered inside. So now you have all these concepts and views and opinions and preferences about what? That which needs to happen that doesn't bother me. But you are bothered. Yeah, but I don't want to be. I want to find somebody that even though I'm bothered, I don't feel bothered around them. And that they don't ever bother me. Okay, so I did it. That's what happened in there. You built a garbage bin. You did. You stored all the garbage that ever happened to you. And now what you have to try to do is find outer situations that make it feel a little bit better in there. Okay, spirituality is not about finding those situations. It doesn't mean you renounce them. Don't do that. It just means it's not about trying to make the world be the way you need it to be so it fits your neurosis. Fits your problem. That goes for husbands, wives, children, everything. There's nothing sacred with that. There's nothing different. If you're out there trying to find somebody that will make you feel okay while you're inside saying, I don't feel okay and I don't think anybody could love me, but if you make me feel love when I say no one could love me, I want you. You're in there ruining yourself and expecting the world to unfold in a way that makes you okay. It doesn't happen, does it? And so you get neurotic, you get upset. Spirituality is completely different. It's a true paradigm shift. It says, why don't I clean up inside so that I can handle reality, therefore I don't have to fight with it. I can work with it, I can enjoy it, I can appreciate it, I can serve it. I'm not ignoring reality. I can do lots of things with reality. Why would you have relationships? Not because you need them, but because you have so much love you like to share it. What's wrong with that? I love you. I love you. I know you're different than me. I know you're going to turn out to be really different, even more different than I thought you were. I love it. This is going to be fun. Let's get to know each other. Wow, that's a nice relationship. Not, oh my God, we agree with everything. Don't worry, it will not last. And so basically you wake up and you realize you have will and you get to choose. Either you go out there and use your will to manipulate, control, and argue, and fight, and suppress, and just, oh my God, that's what you do with the fact that it's not the way you want, or that it wasn't the way you wanted, it won't be the way you want. It's just a big struggle. Or you say, no, I got a few years here on this little planet. I am going to clean up inside so that there aren't moments that unfold in front of me that I can't handle. Doesn't mean you don't work with them. Doesn't mean you don't raise them. You have work to do, but your work is not to make them be what you decided you wanted them to be. So you sit there and say, okay, why can't I handle what's unfolding in front of me? There. Not how do I get it to be the way I want. Why can't I handle it? That's the paradigm shift. That's spirituality. Where you ask a different question. Why can't I handle reality? So you decide, I'm not going to waste my life fighting with life to try to make it the way I decided it should be because I have problems. What are you going to do? I'm going to spend every moment of my life cleaning up inside. I'm going to learn to honor, respect, accept, and handle the reality that unfolds in front of me. Well, how do I do that? How do I do that? That would be fun, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be fun that every single moment is exciting? Wouldn't it be fun that you wake up in the morning? I told you how a true spiritual person wakes up in the morning. I'm back! I wonder what will happen today. I don't know, it'll be fun. Who said you can't be like that? Who said you can't be like that? You did. You said you can't be like that. You said I can only be like that if every single thing is exactly the way I want, including the past, and I have to trust that the future will be that way. And otherwise I can't be, lest ye be as little children. That's what that means. All right? So you look at it and you make the most important decision in your entire life. I am not going to waste the rest of my life fighting, struggling, suffering, anxious, That's where all the anxiety comes from. That's where all the tension comes from. Of course there's tension. What is tension? Two forces at odds with each other. You and reality. They're at odds with each other, aren't they? And so you feel tension. What does anxiety mean? I'm afraid there's something will happen that I don't like. Ding! If you got likes, I guarantee you something's going to happen that you don't like. We're talking so deep. It's like the deepest writing possibly ever written is the treatise on faith mind by the third Zen patriarch. And all you need is the first sentence. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Does that fit into our talk? What's the great way? Enlightenment. Not just I could be a little bit happy. We're talking about complete liberation, the highest state that Buddha ever reached. Christ, my Father, and I are one. Enlightenment, the great way, is not difficult for those who have no preferences. What's the adverse to that? Every way is very, very difficult for those who have preferences. Isn't it? So basically, you start to do the work. You work on doing what? Letting go. Oh, that's how I started the talk. Letting go is not letting go of life. Life is reality. Letting go is letting go of your reaction to what's happening in front of you, because your reaction is based on this thing you built inside. Your reaction is based on whether I like it or not. You have a totally different reaction if inside says, I like it, I like that it happened, and I don't like that it happened. That's got to go. What's in its place? Honor, respect, appreciation. I honor the moment as unfolded in front of me because it was made by creation. It took 13.8 billion years to get here, and it's in front of me. And guess what? Nobody will ever experience the moment you're experiencing. I know you don't think like that. Nobody ever has, nobody ever will. That moment in front of you, the way you're sitting, at the angle you're looking, the sunlight and everything, never happened before, will never happen again, and only you see it. And that's true of every moment of your life. Wow. Sometimes you say to me, I like to feel special. I think that's pretty special. Every moment you ever experience, you're the only one that ever experienced it, the only one that ever will. Why is that not enough? It's like, wow, I got a custom-made life unfolding in front of me. It's not enough because you made up how you want it to be, and it doesn't match that moment. So how do I get rid of that? Little by little. Don't take the big stuff. Don't say, you're right, my mother did this and so on. I don't want to have it inside of me. Leave it alone. You want to play the piano? Don't start with Beethoven or Mozart. Start with the scales. That's how you do this. If you're really sincere and you really want to grow, you just start this journey. And you say, what this is all about is I have built a system inside of me. It's called your psyche. I built a system inside of me that can't handle reality. So just like playing the piano, I need to start simple and practice handling reality. What do you mean? I always use the driver in front of me. So I got a driver in front of me going 10 miles an hour below the speed limit, and I'm in a rush. Therefore, they're wrong. The fact that they got their own world, they're old and they're being safe, or they're looking to see where their address is. Whatever it is, while they're going 10 miles an hour below, it's reality. You know it's reality, don't you? It's right in front of you. Okay, then what's wrong? Me. I have something inside of me that can't handle reality. Okay, well this one's innocent enough. How about we practice handling reality? We actually use that for our spiritual growth. Babu, Muktananda was all into gurus. His whole life was gurus. He said, life is your guru. Life is your guru. So here you are, face to face. And it's doing that, and inside, the monster's throwing a tantrum. You know what that feels like, what that sounds like, don't you? All right, what do? You first remember the meaning of my life is to let go of this part of me that can't handle life. I want to grow into somebody that can handle life. The great way is not different with those who have no preferences. So you're sitting there and you just start with, all right, I got to let this go. That's what letting go means. It means letting go of your resistance to reality. It's something that's inside of you that doesn't need to be there. And so you practice letting go of this reaction. My experience is that relaxing is the way to do it. That in order to get upset, you have to get tight. That's what upset means. There's all this energy comes out, and it gets all weird, and the body tightens up. right? So in there, while you're driving with this person, you just relax. What does it mean? Well, you can relax your body, relax your shoulders, relax your chest, relax your buttocks. Just relax. Relax your heart. Inside, relax your heart. Just relax. Relax your mind. Just relax. Just relax. Don't fight. Don't make it stop. Just relax. Relax. And you're going to find out you can actually do that. You won't want to. You will not want to relax. You'll want to do something about it to change it. But you're not changing it anyways. That's why I call it low-hanging fruit. There's nothing you can do about it anyways. The rain, it's raining. The weather is that way too. It's like you're not going to change it. So have fun getting upset. Or relax. Use it for spiritual growth. And you just keep relaxing. And over time, you're going to find out you can actually do this. You don't have to be neurotic. You can actually relax in the face of that. And if you do, you get in the habit of relaxing instead of getting in the habit of getting uptight about everything. The next thing you know, you're not getting angry as much. Next thing you know, you're not resisting everything everybody's doing because you practiced doing this. And then what's going to happen when you practice this, you'll get good at it. You will get good at it. You can't not get good at it. If you play scales, you're going to get better at the piano. You can't not. Doesn't mean you'll be a great pianist, but you will get better. And that's all that you have to do is get better than you are now. And right now, you're reinforcing your neurosis. So you relax through it. And then what will happen, you'll learn how to do that. So I want you to learn how to relax in the face of this monster you built inside of you that insists that everything be the way it wants and gets upset if it isn't. Just relax, relax. Now what's going to happen, something bigger is going to happen. Bigger than the person driving in front of you. Like you're going to say hi to your friend who's walking by talking to somebody else or both your friends. Hey, Sally and George, hi. And they don't say hello back. Now there's a big problem. And you just start looking at it and look at what part of you is saying that this is a problem. Because it's not a problem. They were talking or they're listening, they had earbuds in, you didn't notice, right? They don't even hear you. But you made a thing out of it, didn't you? For the next 10 minutes, why would they do that? What did I say? Oh my God, did she tell her that I said that about her? I hope not. Oh my God, should I call? Whoa. Or, okay, let go. Now you understand. I told you the purpose of this talk was understand letting go. That's what letting go means. Not I'll let go of them as my friends. They're not my friends. I can let my friends go. No, that's not what it means. It's not about outside. It's inside. Can I let go of the mishagas, is a nice Jewish word, the mishagas I'm making out of the fact that I said hello and they didn't say hello back. Or the fact that I need to ask somebody a question. I called them on the phone. Come on, answer. They didn't answer. Can I handle it? I'm talking about real life. Every moment of your life is your spiritual growth. You know what meditation is? Like, did you do your practices today? This is what you're practicing for. To be able to handle life. Meditation is not enough. So have some beautiful deep meditation. Then come back and be neurotic. I want that you're so high that it's always high and it never comes back. You are capable of that. Every single one of you. You're capable. So you keep practicing letting go. Just relax. But it hurts. Of course it hurts. You built this garbage inside of you. A drug addict has trouble stopping drugs. It hurts. You go through withdrawal. You need to go through withdrawal from your ego. And don't think I'm exaggerating, because I'm not. All right? Because that's what it feels like. You need to let go. You just keep letting go. Then bigger things happen, and you practice letting go, and you realize, I've been causing myself all this trouble. There really wasn't thinking anything, or I made all this stuff up, and it wasn't even that way. And you just keep letting go, and then you realize, wow, I was not okay till I found out that the person really loved me. I thought they didn't because they didn't call. Instead, I let go, and they called, and I didn't have to say, why didn't you call me? Because I was fine. I was fine. Thanks. I was looking forward to talking to you. That's a much nicer way to talk. And you keep letting go, and then you get the big one. When you let go of the everyday experiences, all of a sudden stuff's going to come up by itself. What stuff? The past. That's bigger stuff. Why is it bigger? Because you stored it down there for a reason. You didn't store everything down there. I told you that. 99.99% of everything comes in front of you, makes it right through. All the trees, the cars, the people, the weather, but certain things don't. And you stored those. Now they start coming up. Let go. Now we're in graduate school. Let go. But there's no buts. Either you want it down there, screwing up your life, or you want to be free. You want to be liberated. And so you just relax. But what if it comes back again? Relax again. What if it comes back again? Relax again. It's been down for 20, 30 years. Give it a break. Give it the space it needs. Keep letting go. Relax. Release. Give it love. Just don't push it back down, and don't say it's wrong. And that's why they talk about forgiveness. Forgive whoever did anything. Just get it out of there. You don't want it in there. And all of a sudden you find out all these preferences go away naturally. Why? If I'm okay inside, I don't care how it is. The people say, how do I get rid of preferences? You don't. You let go of what's making you have preferences. Don't try to get rid of preferences. Just keep relaxing and releasing, and what's going to happen? You're going to find out you're a very beautiful being. Way more beautiful than anything you ever imagined. And take the highest, most beautiful thing you ever experienced, multiply it times a lot, and have it go on all the time inside of you. Any moment you ever felt that was beautiful came from inside of you. It's just that you opened. The complainer wasn't complaining at that moment. Everything was the way you wanted it to be. It was a perfect moment. Every moment is a perfect moment inside of you. Once you stop closing, once you stop complaining, once you stop building all this junk in there, you start feeling this river of love, river of joy flows inside of you all the time. You don't need love. You are love. You're welcome to share it, but you don't need it. And that's what it is with everything. So it's really very beautiful, and it's really worth doing. The other way, you fight to get what you want. It gets old. You don't want it anymore. And something else happens. No, this is permanent. That's what the spiritual state is, a permanent state of Satchidananda, eternal conscious ecstasy. Anybody want some? Okay. You just have to let go of all this garbage you collected inside. So there, I ended it where I started. It is not about letting go of life. It's about letting go of your reaction to life, which is all based on the suppressed stuff that you stored inside of you. Work on yourself. Raise yourself. And it gets very beautiful. Okay, I hope you understand. I know it's tough because it's got a paradigm shift from the way you're taught to live your life. Just fight to get what you want. Well, spirituality says life is so beautiful. Life is beautiful. Let go. Jagrata.